this didn't impact the game. I didn't say it didn't impact the game.
Yeah, that intro right there from Jim Crane, that is going to set up this entire video, because I'm sitting there watching this entire press conference and I'm thinking to myself, what are these guys doing? And I had a few more of those moments today because Carlos Correa, he just responded to what Cody Bellinger said yesterday. If you guys missed it, Cody Bellinger dropped some bombs against Jose Altuve and the entire Astros organization. A lot of other people were vocal as well. Trevor Bauer, Mike Clevenger, he was involved in it, and also a basketball player, Jared Dudley. We're going to talk about everything. Make sure you guys watch all the way until the end. And also, before we start talking baseball, we're getting so close to 200,000 subs. You guys have been going crazy with the support lately, so thank you all so much. We're trying to get there before opening day. And also, if you're going to any spring training games, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save $20 off your order. And without further ado, let's just get into it, because man, there's a lot to unpack today. So before I show you guys Bellinger going off against the Astros, I'm quickly going to show one more apology. This comes from a former Houston Astro. It's Jake Marisnick. He was one of the guys that had the highest amount of bang pitches, so yeah, he was a big time cheater and he still wasn't very good, but at least I can tip my cap because his apology is somewhat commendable. Then again, I mean, do any of these apologies really count? Because they all seem kind of scripted and fake, but maybe that's just me.
Apologizing for what happened in 2017. I mean, I feel terribly about it. There's a line and it was definitely crossed, and I want to say sorry to the fans, Major League Baseball, my peers, and anybody else who's affected by this. When I come in here, I don't want to be a distraction to the Mets clubhouse, but I do recognize that this is a major deal. This is a big deal.
Do you like what Marisnick had to say, or do you think that he is just filibustering to make the crowd happy? So that's done with. I don't think that there are going to be any more apologies from either former Astros or Astros themselves. I wish that Zach Greinke would come out and say something, because he wasn't part of those teams. Now he's on the squad. He's kind of just like, yo, I just got here, man. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. So that'd be a funny interview in my opinion. But Cody Bellinger, I'm not going to say anything more. I'm going to roll the full thing, or at least most of what you guys would want to see. And you guys have to let me know, did he go too hard, or is he justified in absolutely squashing the Houston Astros organization?
I thought the apologies were whatever. I thought Jim Crane's was weak. I thought Manfred's punishment was weak, giving him immunity. I mean, these guys were cheating for 3 years. I think what people don't realize is Altuve stole an MVP from Judge in 17. Everyone knows they stole the ring from us. I know personally I lost respect for those guys. I would say everyone in the show, in the big leagues, lost respect for those guys. I don't know what human hits a walk-off home run against Aroldis Chapman to send your team to the World Series, and one has the thought to say, don't rip my jersey off, but two, go in the tunnel, change your shirt, and then come out and do your interview. Like that makes no sense to me. It makes zero sense to me, because I know me. Gary Sanchez said yesterday, you can rip my shirt off, my pants off. I sent my team to the World Series off for Aroldis Chapman in the ninth inning at home. You can do, I'm going crazy.
Wow. Okay, so what I was going to do is I was going to go ahead and roll into the Trevor Bauer tweets calling the Astros hypocrites, but Cody Bellinger said what he had to say, so that was 24 hours ago. Now Carlos Correa has gotten wind of what Bellinger said, pretty much saying that Jose Altuve did not deserve to be the 2017 MVP, and also that if Bellinger was in Jose Altuve's position, he would have let his teammates rip all of his clothes off. And Correa dropped a bomb today. He answered both of those statements from Mr. Cody. And first of all, I want to say that Carlos Correa, he earned my respect a couple days ago. He gave the best apologies from any member of that cheating squad. And now, dude, sometimes the best thing to say is to say nothing at all, and this applies to Carlos Correa right now. Like, I appreciate him having his boys back, but here's what Correa said. Now, I cannot find a video, so I'm going to go ahead and paraphrase. This comes from The Athletic. If you guys have not read it, Carlos Correa defended Jose Altuve by saying Jose Altuve did not need to know what kind of pitches were coming in 2017. And I actually will have Correa's back at this point, because if we go back to the 2017 season, and if we take a look at all of the number of bangs, I think there was almost 1,000 banged on pitches throughout the 2017 season. Altuve only had 2.8% of them. And then what Correa was saying is the reason why his percentage was so low is because Jose did not like to hit like that. He wanted to use his instincts. He wanted to use his own natural talents as opposed to hearing stuff on the side of his ear and trying to process that. He wanted to simplify it, which doesn't really make sense because simplifying it is knowing what pitch is coming. So what Correa was trying to say is that Jose Altuve is so good that he did not need it. It's justified by the 2.8% of bangs. And even he went as far to say that Altuve would hear the bangs and then they would stop because he would go into the dugout and he would say, I don't want this. So he tried to have Jose's back by saying he was good enough to the point where he did not have to cheat. Fine, that's justifiable. The stats are there. 3% of pitches that were banged on went to Jose Altuve. Then he said, I don't want any of these, because there's a few stretches where there was not any bangs given to Jose Altuve. But under the same breath, you threw Jose Altuve under the bus because he knew the banging was going on and chose to say nothing. And then the second part deux to what Mr. Correa had to say is the fact that when Jose Altuve hit the walk-off home run against Aroldis Chapman, MLB and the Astros organization has said that there was no buzzers, they did not cheat in that game, and it's perfectly clean. Whereas the baseball community is pretty much dead set on believing the fact that there was a buzzer underneath Jose Altuve's jersey, and then Correa says, no, there was not any buzzers. What actually happened is that Jose Altuve, first, there was 2 points. One was that his wife did not want him to take his shirt off. So, that doesn't make sense either because Jose Altuve's wife has literally had multiple Instagram stories of him with his shirt off. So that's null and void. I don't believe that. And then the second thing is, it's brand new, never been talked about before. Breaking, Carlos Correa says, Jose Altuve had a bad collarbone tattoo, which I could not find the tattoo of, so he has done a pretty good job at hiding that. I don't know if it's a picture of a bald eagle carrying Baby Yoda, or if it's me saying F the Astros. I don't know what the tattoo is, but at this point, we have 2 bullet points from an Astros player as to why Jose Altuve did not take off his jersey. Jose Altuve's wife did not like it and did not want it to happen, even though she posted multiple stories of him with the shirt off. And then number 2, he had a bad collarbone tattoo. Now, he might be right, but it just sounds like such BS, and I don't know if I can believe this. Now, if you're an Astros fan, you might feel like, finally, vindicated. We did not use buzzers. Carlos Correa is our saving grace. So again, 24 hours ago, I was on the Carlos Correa bandwagon saying, finally, someone is being honest and they are being transparent with the baseball community. But now he backhands us with these comments, and I'm just, my man, take the Mike Trout approach, because we all know Mike Trout is a great player, but he says nothing. He says nada. Please take the Mike Trout approach. You've already apologized. You actually did a pretty good job at stating your case and having us kind of, rally behind you, as opposed to the other teammates like Josh Reddick, who gave us one of these, a little middle finger. That was the fake finger, by the way. But yeah, he walked everything back. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and talk about some players, some other players aside from Cody Bellinger that are kind of, throwing their name into the mix. Trevor Bauer, he is no stranger to the situation. He went off, he went nuclear, and he pretty much said that he is not going to let the Astros forget about this because, sometimes with steroids and other, scandals, that fades away in the minds of baseball players and the baseball community. But Trevor Bauer is going to be on a mission. I think his number one mission in 2020 is not even to win 20 games. It's to hit and remind as many Astros players of what they did. We'll talk about the hitting scandal in just a second, because the new manager for the Astros, Dusty Baker, he's trying to get MLB involved to avoid his players being hurt by hit by pitches. But yeah, Bauer, he used a few F-bombs. He called them hypocrites. He is not letting this go anytime soon. And again, like I said before, at the beginning of this video, a basketball player got involved. So he actually stood up for Cody Bellinger as well, saying that he was in the right. And this just confirms the point that, Carlos, you cannot be talking on this. Everyone is on the side of Cody Bellinger and MLB, as opposed to Carlos Correa, Astros. It's just not going to happen. So now you have NBA players getting involved, which is great for the game of baseball. Basketball players talk about MLB all day long. And also, Shane Bieber chimed in. There was a soccer team, I guess like Manchester City, they cheated. I'm not sure why or how, but they were fined 30 million euros and also suspended for 2 years. Shane Bieber quote tweeted it by saying, now this is a proper punishment. So people are coming in left and right with the haymaker. You have Jake Marisnick apologizing. Then you have Cody Bellinger coming out and saying that the Astros cheated in 2017 to 2019, and there's documentation proving that. So I'm not sure why Carlos Correa would then come back and say Jose Altuve didn't need the bangs. He might be onto something with that. But then Correa even went to extend himself by saying that they didn't cheat in 2018 and 2019, even though the Wall Street Journal reported and documented that there was cheating in 18 and 19. So my man Correa, just go ahead and please take the L. I'm a big fan of you both as a personality because he was a #1 draft pick. He shows that you can really just become someone if you work at your craft, to really just ruining his image in the matter of about 4 sentences. So, what a tough situation. I feel bad for Astros fans. I mean, honestly, the more that they talk, so much going on right now, but we're going to go ahead and move on to one other member of the Astros, a brand new member of the Astros. Just like Zachary, he wasn't involved. Dusty Baker is just trying to fit in and control the situation. He thinks that Major League Baseball should get ahead and actually warn players that if you hit the Astros players 5 times a game, you are going to get ejected.
You know, the league, I'm depending on the league to try to put a stop to, the seemingly, premeditated retaliation that I'm hearing about. And in most instances in life, you get kind of reprimanded for, when you have premeditated anything.
But I don't think that anyone is going to care. The Astros, no one likes them in the National League, no one likes them in the American League. Whit Merrifield actually came out and said that he lost respect for everyone on that squad. And then honestly, the Kansas City media and the Kansas City Royals are muting him. So if you're a Whit Merrifield fan, good for you. You're rooting for a pretty genuine player, someone that has some good morals. But Baker, I don't know how you're going to control this. You're lucky that Mike Clevinger just tore his left knee, which sucks for me as an Indians fan, so he's going to be out until June. But Mike Clevinger once tweeted that he is so blessed and lucky to have a rocket for an arm, so he's happy that he throws hard because he was going to make the Astros pay by probably giving him a 99 fastball straight to the ribs. But that's not going to happen for a while because, he tore his knee, which is really sad. Get well soon, Clev. Please, we need you. Noah Syndergaard is also joining in on the action this morning by clowning the Houston Astros. Everyone has their shirts off, so they are exposing themselves. No buzzers required, says Noah Syndergaard. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move off from the Astros because we've spent the entire video talking about it. I'm going to bring up Kris Bryant and the fact that he's pretty upset with social media and everyone pretty much presenting his case that he does not want to be a Chicago Cub without asking Kris Bryant himself. So he came out with the video. He says that, one, he never saw a $200 million extension, so how could he reject it and not want to be a member of the Cubs? So let's roll that because I love me some Kris Bryant. Vegas boy, pretty good right here.
People, not everybody, but the main reasoning behind it is that let's get rid of him now because he doesn't want to be here in 2 years. He turned down this monster extension well north of $200 million, and I'm like, well, where was that? We have it so good here, and of course I would love to play here.
So there you guys saw Kris Bryant wants to be a member of the Chicago Cubs. Not once did he ever reject a $200 million extension. It was a fallacy from social media and reporters and everyone that just wanted to get some clicks. So I'm all for players having a voice and being vocal. I wish that Mike Trout, I know it's not required that baseball players have to be media friendly or have an active Twitter account, but I wish that Mike Trout would chime in on this situation because I feel like his voice carries so much more weight. One, because he doesn't say anything, and every time he does, it's like, wow, Mike Trout just said something. And two, he's the GOAT. So I just wish that he would market himself and the game just a little bit better. But hey, to each their own. Thank you guys for watching. What a crazy video. Bellinger's going off, Correa's trying to go off, and then somewhat making himself and Jose Altuve look like hypocrites at the same time. Very weird. Very, very weird. But hey, we're talking about baseball before spring training even starts, so I think that this is good for the game. I used to be like, wow, this sucks, it's toxic. Now it's like, dude, I don't even care anymore. The Astros, their apologies were kind of half-assed, and yeah, now I just don't care. So guys, remember, we are on the road to 200K before opening day. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save 20 bucks off, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out. Wow, there's a lot going on lately. Oh my gosh. Also, I wore the Stranger Things hat because Stranger Things 4 is coming back. Hopper's alive. Let's go.